Hey, what's up, guys? Tastes and Artosis back here at MLG. You guys having fun? Seems as though they are.
I think so. We have a lot of fun things still coming up. Of course, Parting vs. Rain will be in a little bit, but first we want to do a NOS performance replay and go over a little bit from our last match of Oz versus Alive in that close second game.
We're going to go ahead and throw this up on screen for you guys because this was one of our very interesting games. First of all, look, Protoss has an additional base here and here. So Terran is in a bit of a tough situation. Slight supply advantage, but Protoss was in a very good position. So let's watch very slowly as he moves in here. He comes in. Now note the spread of the Templars. He doesn't want to get EMP'd. And he also makes sure that he has his army back here because he wants to defend this location, and he doesn't want the army to spill in here because clearly there's a lot of tech right in that location. Now you play this again.
And we'll see him stim up, try to catch these High Templars. And, I mean, that's always a nice move to try. He whiffs kind of a storm there, almost kills a High Templar off. Whatever. But right here, this is an important moment. See, he's moving north immediately. Now, they're not really exactly sure where each other are. Like, for instance, we don't have any observers for Protoss. And he starts to move down a bit because he doesn't control enough area to know for a fact that he's not going for his fourth base as opposed to his third. Yeah, and what's interesting is after the scuffle, what the Protoss is trying to do is get a nice arc. Anybody who's played a lot of StarCraft knows you have to have this really nice surround. There are a few exceptions where it's not the case, but he wants to be able to surround that army. So he goes for the spread. So Alive is smart. He says, well, I'm probably not, with this area coming into here, going to be able to take on this much surface area here, if you can follow my mouse. So as our Protoss is spreading, he just bum rushes this expansion. And if you look at the positioning, takes a quick scan, sees there's nothing there, and the moment, if Protoss actually doesn't even realize at that moment that it's not a fake, he's actually going to go in there. Yeah, that's right. And the High Templars are going to get very far behind during this as well. So obviously the Nexus is gone, and that's a huge moment in the game. But also, the army is coming up because he has to kill off part of the army. But High Templars are very slow, and you need them with your army to do a proper engagement. Yeah, and that was the real turning point in that game, was he basically outmaneuvered the guy, shot the Nexus down for free, and it suddenly evened everything out massively. And as you can see, he comes in even here from behind and starts to gun down the Templars. And that was how Oz, who had a fairly big economic and even positional lead, got outmaneuvered. So Alive, definitely a player we want to watch more of in this tournament. That's going to go and conclude it for our NOS replay section. But I love when I see play like that. Yeah, it was beautiful. You know, Oz made a small mistake, didn't, but you have to stay on top of that. Yeah, I love it. All right, JP, Rob, what are your thoughts on the tournament so far? You know, things are unfolding pretty quickly now. We're getting a lot of players eliminated. There aren't that many left. What are your thoughts? Go ahead.
All right, so the biggest thing that I'm actually immediately excited about, obviously, is going to be Parting Alive. Because Alive has been just, other way around, Parting is amazing PvT, just straight up. Now, in general, the tournament's gotten a little interesting because as these extra players are thrown into the pool play, everybody's kind of not exactly sure how to handle it because they've only had to play 3 other matches in the tournament. Right.
Right now in Pool D, there's the potential for, I believe, a 3-way tie, which could make things super, super interesting. All the other pools, I mean, Marine King right now is just dominating Pool A, DRG dominating Pool B, and Huck dominating Pool C, but Hard is also performing very well. But let's take a look at Pool A. What do you guys think about this pool?
Marine King is killing it.
Yeah, I think it's great. Marine King's doing so well. It's too bad I thought MC would do a little bit better. Right. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because let's say Marine King wins this tournament. What does that mean then about, you know, where Marine King is? He's either in second place in every tournament or first place.
So he's the new Stork.
He's the new Stork, yes, from StarCraft 1.
You know what's actually the most surprising thing in this group, though, I would say, for me at least, is MC is not really doing that well. Yeah. He's only 1-3. I thought that he would do a bit better than that so far, but he still has, you know, 1 more match to go.
Yeah, now Gonzi's been impressing as well.
Yeah, Gonzi's actually 8-5. I mean, he's 3-2 win-loss, but 8-5 map-wise. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous.
He started 0-2 as well, so he is on quite a streak.
And of course, there is an IED crazy moving. We can talk about that as well. That's I like that ID. Let's got some stickiness, guys.
Yeah.
Let's go to Pool B. As you can see, DRG, this is not really a shocker. DRG is dominating.
Yeah.
And in fact, you know, in game score, he and Marine King are leading the tournament. They're both 8-1 at this point, which is, and they're the top two
they were
seeds
top two
coming
for the
in.
arena, yeah.
So it's really, these are two of the absolute top players in the world right now. But looking at the rest of this group, you know, Hey Pro, 2-2. Not many people thought that would happen. Ostagy, 0-2. You know, that's a little bit more reasonable. People probably thought that, you know, him coming in here, that's he's an underdog.
Well,
Absolutely.
I mean, his loss so far was only against DRG. I'm not sure which second player he fought, but I mean, DRG was pretty much like a giveaway as far as people were expecting to happen. So he still has a shot in that group. Maybe.
Well, he lost to Demuslim as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
2-1.
okay.
Yeah, that's Demuslim's
Man, he's got a
winner.
tough road ahead of him.
He certainly does.
Yep.
Now let's go and take a look at Pool C. Again, this one, at least for the leader here, not shocking. Huck is winning.
Yeah, no, it was a hard one to predict, but Hart is coming through the group so far. He's won both his matches, so he has the potential to take this group down. Huck's games for the group are done. He is going to get either first or second place in this group no matter what.
Right, all depending on whether or not Hart is able to sweep. So, and I mean, Hart is wonderful.
I feel like Hart's actually gotten through the harder players in this group. I mean, he's got to go up against Kwai Rice, Rhett, and Zaka, and they're actually the bottom three in this pool.
Ooh,
So
Hart beat
wow.
Violet?
yes,
Violet
actually
and
2-1.
Huck?
Yeah, and he beat Huck as well, 2-1.
That is pretty hardcore right there. I wonder how he'll do for the rest of it, but let's look at Pool D. And this one, it's looking like Parting is going to take it. That's my guess right now. Oz's games are done. The STC, he's done. Parting is playing next. But, of course, Alive's still sitting there 2-1, so he still has potential to win. Rain no longer really has the potential to win this group, and Grubby is going to finish as definitely one of the bottom players in this group.
Yeah, no way out for Grubby right now. Well, it looks like we are almost ready to start this game. I'm just going to get some confirmation from the players here.
Well, I think that we have to cut
Oh,
to
excuse
a
me, we're going to
commercial
cut to a
first.
quick commercial. My bad. Tasteless dropped the ball. Stay tuned. We're here at MLG. We'll be back soon with Rain vs. Party. We are back here at MLG. The game has loaded up. We're going to see Parting against Rain. Parting, one of these up-and-coming top-end Protoss players. If you play Protoss, you definitely want to study this guy. And I guess we already brought him up. Here he is in the bottom left starting location. His opponent in the bottom right, getting second place in a GSL. I believe it was Season 3, losing to MC. And now still trying to just reclaim that throne, reclaim that dominance. We have Rain. It took me a second. I held the mouse over his ID. His ID is what? Because of pros. That threw me off. All right, so the map is Shakros Plateau. This is an old map. It's been modified a lot. It's got a lot of history, even though StarCraft 2 is a pretty young game.
Yeah, that's quite true. It was one of the early maps released, not in the original release, but a little bit later on. Originally was a 2 vs. 2 map, but actually made a very fun and entertaining 1 vs. 1 map to watch. But for this matchup, one thing to point out is that natural expansion has a ramp that only takes a couple force fields really to mess up. So, you know, as a Protoss player, you can take that expansion and hold it with relative ease.
Yeah, well said. And this is also a map where it tends to get cut in half very easily.
Oh, yeah.
There's basically just one hallway in the center of the map. It's pretty open, but still it's only one way to get from one side of the map to the other, unless you're going to be blanking or using Colossus or medevac or anything else. It's sort of an alternative. It's got an alternative form of transportation.
Yes, like the subway or a bus.
Yes.
Now, the probe does get into the main base here, and he is going to see a gas from Rain. Now, Rain used to be a very cheesy all-in player. Back in the day when he actually got second place in a GSL, he all-in basically every single game on his way through that bracket. But nowadays, he has a lot more range. This guy does all sorts of different builds.
Well, you can't really blame him back in the day for doing those all-ins. I mean, the Terran all-ins, especially in the first few months of StarCraft, were just so ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
Now,
and with no add-on yet, and look at that, he actually scouts the probe on a patrol.
He did not. I am so in shock. I was about to say Rain, being a very smart player, checked for the hidden probes, but then he saw the hidden probe and actually turned around, so he wasn't actually paying attention.
And that's actually going to be an issue, because that probe may just dart up the ramp and see exactly what's going on. Whereas, Rain, he's not going for something like a Marauder expand or like a 2 barracks, which are, the kind of benign gas openings. But here we go. The probe's going to come right up and he gets in.
Oh, wow. I bet Rain is kicking himself right now.
Oh, he has to be. And, well, he finds the factory, and that is a ton of information.
And he might even see the reactor get planted here. Nope. Just not in time.
Nope.
I really got to be critical of What?
The probe actually saw that gas go up. The gas went up right as the probe was pulling away from the factory. So that is a huge deal that he saw the second gas. As soon as you see that second gas, you know that it is going to involve Banshees. I mean, you're not going to go for a Hellion medevac Marine push with 2 gases. That's going to be a 1 gas
It's interesting that the strategy that he was going for it's a good strategy as long as it doesn't get scouted, and yet he was not focused when it came to the scouting. He literally had, he could have just killed the probe, and it's very well possible that Parting would have just died.
Yeah.
But now I think Parting is, as far as intel goes, if he utilizes it properly, he's got a huge lead.
That is so true, Tasteless. But he actually only kept 1 SCV on that gas for a bit, so I think we may still see some Hellion drop, maybe a Hellion drop into Banshees, and that's a nice, strong opening. Now, will he expand behind it? Or will he go for a 1-1-1 build? It's hard to say.
It'll be interesting. We'll, oh, wow, okay, medevac coming. So we're going to have some kind of drop, like you said. And I think, first of all, I think the drop probably won't be that impactful. I think Party will probably be prepared. As you can see, moving the Stalkers down here.
Yeah. But, if he misclicks at all during that, in the probes lineup, things turn bad pretty quickly. Well, he is going for that Observer. He's going to be able to go over and scout exactly what Rain is up to. And this is a pretty well-refined expansion build that Parting's doing. Parting's builds are amongst the very best for any Protoss in the game. So that's going to give him an edge, where earlier today we saw some slightly lesser Protosses fall to things like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes the medevac now. 3 Hellions here. Note there are Marines in the front as well. It's a 2-pronged attack. Let's see how he handles both.
And, well, the medevac is coming in, and it looks like he's going to be able to take this out pretty easily overall. Not letting the probes really line up, and doing a decent job down at the natural as well. Parting has basically destroyed this attack.
Wow.
But, ooh, he does end up losing 2 sentries. And that is 200 gas loss, so that is painful still.
Pretty nice defense by Parting. That's a tough situation. Now he's going to try to see if he can't pick off a few more Marines on the way back, and these Marines are going to have to run. I don't know what Rain's doing. Rain, again, not as focused in this game. Nice micro. He's not going to lose a single Stalker in this situation. And Rain now with some heavy losses.
Wow, this is just great play by Parting so far. Going to chase down that Hellion as well. So few probes have actually died from this. This was supposed to hurt his economy in some way. but instead he's only killed 2 probes off, as we see here. Now, he is adding some additional barracks. He's getting that Raven out, making siege tanks, and he's just going to go for a 1-1-1 all-in. That's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no other option. This is not a situation where you just go back to playing a standard game. I cannot believe he got that depot. I was actually expecting that to be some light harass where he then went away. Partying is very dominant in this game. And by the way, he even showed the Raven.
Yeah. I mean, the Observer was in there. They got shot down. That is a Raven for sure, and that just means that, you know, we're going to see point defense drone used. But he's not going to make any Banshees, which is exactly what you would expect in this situation. So,
do you think he's going to send all his SCVs when he does this?
Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah, I think so. This Rain is really all in at this point. From everything that's happened this game, he has to be thinking, wow, this is not looking like it's going to work. Parting is maybe the best Protoss versus Terran player in the world, and he's stopped everything dead in his tracks so far.
Yeah, let me sum this up for everybody that's watching, because I know some of you know more about StarCraft than others. All Parting has to do is control his army right, and he wins.
Yeah, he's got to get that nice unit composition and micro it just right.
Yep.
Got to be careful of the siege tanks and Marines. Of course, the medevacs being made instead of Banshees will add some life expectancy onto those Marines, but he's going for Colossus, which is actually going to do much better against that rather than the Banshee style.
I don't see the SCVs being sent out yet.
Yeah, I don't think he'll send them to the last second. It won't be every single one. He needs to rally in. This isn't going to be a one-hit wonder push. He's going to have to rally in a few more units on his way.
By the way, a few pylons hidden here and there on the map. He can warp in some Zealots and send them into the main after the 1-1-1 occurs, where he sends everything and kill off the remaining SCVs. It really screws everything up for the Terran. Okay, this game is going to end very soon. Either Terran is going to run over the Protoss or Protoss will deflect.
Oh, Rain is moving forward. His SCVs are on their way, but if he gets caught here and loses any siege tanks, then this push could be over before it even begins.
Oh my God!
Oh, and he
He spat out the point defense drone. That is completely useless in that part of the map.
And he is falling apart. Thermal Lance is about to complete. A Colossus is out. A counter warp in is going to go down towards the main base of Rain, so he can't even get out any more rallied reinforcements. Parting is looking unbeatable, sitting up way above him in supply by over 20.
All right, we have the attack over here. He forces the siege tanks into siege mode, and then he just runs away. It's so smart.
Exactly what he should be doing.
Yeah, he doesn't have to deal with that. Note the Zealots are now in the Terran's main. Well, they're chasing a siege tank now, but they were in the main. Parting will probably send them back in there. Yes, he does. And again, the big engagement here, all because the Protoss has a better economy, all he has to do is sit back and keep making stuff and attack at the last second.
Yes, the very last second. In fact, he's already bought time for a second Colossus to be made. He can use the Immortals to get the tank hits on him, and then go ahead and attack in with those Colossi at the same time, targeting down Marines and SCVs. Rain's push has no chance of working.
All right, here he comes now. Bunker's being erected, but I don't think it's going to be finished in time. Immortals targeting down the siege tanks. Everything Terran disappearing so quickly. Nice micro here with the Colossus. Just a few Marines left, and the Colossus can easily take care of that.
And it looks like just everything's going to go down. Rain's going to have to GG from here.
Yeah, I would say expect GG. He may, okay, there we go.
Wow. That was so unbelievably one-sided. Parting just completely destroyed Rain.
Well, Parting looked like he was on another level. That looked like, if that was a ladder game, that would look like people from 2 different divisions.
Yeah. Rain
that belonged in 2 different divisions.
Rain is a very good player who's had a lot of success in the past, and even recently he's done well in tournaments such as MLG, but I wouldn't say he is, you know, a top-tier Terran, whereas Parting unquestionably is a top-tier Protoss.
Well, JP, Rob, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, can Rain actually come back with anything? Or is he just dead? Because he looks pretty bad.
Yeah, I think Parting's just going to take this 2-0. I don't see, or excuse me, yeah, Parting's going to win 2-0. I don't see Rain just coming back from this. Parting is just too good at this matchup.
Yeah, Parting is such a Terran killer.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who knows? Who knows, right? Rain might have some crazy tricks up his sleeve.
I think that Parting's going to win 2-0.
Unless all 3 of you know.
Well, you know, here's my take is that once we saw Rain actually miss the probe, that he saw, he had vision of. That means he's so not focused. It's just bad news. Look, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go on to game number 2 between Party and Rain.